This is a Russian T-90A main battle tank assigned to Russia's Center Battle Group of Forces. The crew are conducting firing operations toward the Ukrainian forces held city of Lyman in Donetsk Oblast, Ukraine. The T-90A deployment in Russia's war against Ukraine is rarely filmed or reported, indicating a limited number were sent to the battlefields of Ukraine. The T-90A is a comparatively modern main battle tank, especially when compared to the majority of Russia's other main battle tanks. During this video I will attempt to work out why the T-90A hasn't deployed in greater numbers to Ukraine. This T-90A was filmed in July 2023. Interestingly, it hasn't received any additional explosive reactive armour plates or bricks, or even a cope cage. This could indicate this particular tank at the time was rushed to the battlefront with no time to fit additional defensive add-ons. According to open source intelligence platform Oryx, Russia had lost 2,100 main battle tanks at the time of filming in July 2023. It would be many months before Russia's Ministry of Defense released any more T-90A footage. In fact, RX has only identified 38 T-90A losses throughout the war, with Russia T-90A losses after September 2023 currently at 0. It is estimated that vaunted, Russia's main battle tank builder, originally manufactured 300 T-90A up to about 2017. With 38 lost in Ukraine, it leaves potentially 262 which have or are available for deployment to Ukraine. Russia's estimated tank losses are 3,000 as of February 2024. The T-90A entered service in 2004. It's a modernised update to the T-90 which entered service in 1992. Developed from the T-72 platform under Design Proposal Object 188, which fundamentally was a lacklustre upgrade to the 1985 variant T-72B main battle tank. The T-90 retained the 125mm 2A46M smoothbore gun and critically the T-72B hull, regarded as reliable, adaptable, affordable and easily maintainable. The hull retained the 6-road wheel, idler and drive sprocket configuration, as well as the original tracks and V84-1 engine with 840 horsepower. The T-90 did receive a new cast steel turret based on the costlier but rejected Object 187 tank project. The T-90A also received the latest, at the time, Contact 5 explosive reactive armour, Shatora 1 countermeasure suite and an updated fire control system. Astonishingly, the half-hearted Soviet-designed cost-restricted T-90 main battle tank was planned to eventually replace all the T-64, T-72 and 280 series of main battle tanks. The T-72B hull would be the platform for all future series upgrades to the T-90. The T-90 was probably 10 years too late and would, if conflict broke out with NATO, it would face the latest generation of Western tanks. For instance, the Leopard 2A4 had already entered service nearly 7 years earlier, in 1985. The Leopard 2A5 will be in service by 1995. Unsurprisingly, the T-90 failed to be produced in any great numbers, partly due to political turmoil and dire economic conditions facing the recently formed Russian Federation. Estimates suggest around 150 T-90 may have very slowly rolled out of the factory gates, with domestic orders literally fading away in the late 1990s. Russia's vaunted factory was now left with a surplus of T-90 cast steel turrets. Russia's main tank builder was now relying on service and repair contracts and developing the next series of T-72. The T-72 production finally ended in 2016, resulting in the absolute pinnacle of T-72 design, the T-72B 3M. However, less than 8 years after production stopped, a heavily armoured T-72B 3M main battle tank is filmed fighting in Ukraine, recorded February 2024. It's clearly received a huge update, all appearing to be concentrated on additional protection to its turrets, including anti-rocket and missile chains, the addition of a cope cage with its top towered with Contact 5 era blocks, and something quite new, the rear tail frame, covered with even more explosive reactive armour. The heavyweight battle tank appears to be struggling to move on the snow, its sluggish manoeuvrability likely due to a lack of engine power. Its probable primary role therefore would be purely as artillery support due to its greatly increased weight and reduced mobility. Here we can see a T-90A main battle tank filmed in April 2024. This particular tank is fitted with now ubiquitous cope cage. This is possibly only one of two T-90A seen operating in Ukraine. Both tanks were recorded in April 2024, that's a 7-month gap since the last T-90A sighting in September 2023. This particular tank was directing fire into Kharkiv Oblast at Ukrainian positions dug in near the city of Kupiansk from a position in Russian-occupied Luhansk Oblast. To further understand the T-90A transition from the T-90 and its part in Russia's unsustainable main battle tank losses in Ukraine, we need to revisit the 1990s again. Vaunted, Russia's main tank builder, saw domestic orders in the mid-1990s for the T-90 completely slump. The company sought and received government approval to export the T-90. At the time, the company, with either great foresight or luck, created a new welded turret that offered greater improvements in crew protection and more internal space for the T-90 crew. India in 1997 was the first country to show an interest in the T-90. Now initially named the T-90S, it had incorporated a number of agreed improvements asked for by India, including a new engine, enhanced projectile protection, and that all-new welded turret. However, the first delivery of 42 tanks, dispatched in 2001, were actually produced using leftover cast steel turrets and powered by the original V841 engine. It is assumed a deal was struck. In 2002, 82 tanks, now renamed as Bhishma main battle tanks, were delivered to the Indian Army. They were equipped with the new welded turrets and a V92S2 engine capable of generating 1000 horsepower. Remarkably, at the time, the Bhishma main battle tanks, in agreement with Russia, were fitted with French Thales-built Catherine FC thermal sights. This one decision alone to use French-built thermal sights would eventually cause serious repercussions for Russia in the Ukraine war. The Indian Army at this time operated at least 2,000 T-72 main battle tanks, so found it relatively easy to incorporate the T-90S Bhishma into its tank regiments. India would eventually operate over 2,000 T-90S Bhishma tanks, mostly built under license in India. The Indian Army didn't adopt the Shura system and soon developed its own homegrown modular composite armour called Kanchan. In 2005, Russia's MOD committed to continue producing and developing the T-72 series, but would stop building the T-64 and 280 series. In late 2003, the MOD approached Vaunted to restart production of the T-90, bizarrely asking to manufacture to the original specification, which included the inferior cast steel turret. Vaunted, due to retooling costs, persuaded the army to purchase a new variant based on the work already completed on the Indian T-90S export variant, and just like that, the T-90A was born. So what kind of battle tank did the Russian Ministry of Defense receive in the T-90A? Well, firstly it received the new welded steel and composite turret offering greater crew protection and more internal space. A third generation 125mm 2A46M5 smoothbore gun, new V92S2 engine producing 1000 horsepower, and the latest updated Contact 5 explosive reactive armour. The T-90A also received a 1A45T fire control system with Sosna U, advanced gunner sight with thermal imaging equipment. This is where it gets interesting. The major component of the Sosna U is the Catherine FC thermal imager, which is made by the French company Thales. The French thermal imager impressed the Russians so much they also began to install it on later variants of the T-80 and T-72. In 2017, after a number of one-off projects, the T-80 BVM fitted with Sosna U was the first significant and viable variant since 2005. Finally, the T-90A is installed with the Shatora-1 infrared anti-tank guided missile jamming system, carried over from the T-90, the first battle tank to have used it. The two infrared emitters send false signals which, for example, can scramble a TOW ATGM guidance system. Laser guided missiles are picked up by the Shatora-4 laser sensors located on top of the turret, firing racks of dedicated anti-laser smoke grenades, shrouding the tank from missile lasers. Here, the T-90S main battle tank, manufactured and actually developed for export customers, has instead deployed to Ukraine, now assigned to Russia's Yug group of forces, who are defending Luhansk Oblast, annexed from Ukraine in 2014. This T-90S, one of a small but increasing number sent to the battlefront, will only replace a fraction of the hundreds of main battle tanks lost just in Luhansk Oblast. It has joined the 16-month-long assault against Ukrainian forces dug in defending the city of Kupiansk, located near Kharkiv-Luhansk Oblast border. The T-90S, as an export model, receives priority production of domestic models, with each tank selling between $3 and $4 million each. They provide a valuable income, with over 1,000 tanks manufactured in Russia and an estimated 2,000 manufactured under license. They earn considerably more cash than the discounted price tanks supplied to the Russian army. The Russian army received its first T-90 in 1992. The final T-90A was delivered in 2012. After nearly 20 years of production, the army had received a paltry 334 T-90 series tanks. Russia's tank modernisation plan has completely failed to replace her thousands of outdated tanks. India, with over 2,000 T-90 series tanks, is by far the tank's largest operator, and with her fleet of T-72, it likely makes her the largest operator of main battle tanks in the world. The Russian army was promised a new modern tank, designated as the T-14 Armata, to be in service starting in 2015. The army still awaits delivery of its first fully operational production T-14. In 2017, a heavily upgraded version of the T-90 series, the T-90M Proev 3, made its first appearance. It is a significant update to the T-90A. Gone all the red-eye dazzlers, now very much outdated against modern anti-tank weapons. The T-90M retains a 155mm 2A46M5 main gun, but has gained additional protection with 4S23 relict heavy explosive reactive armour. The turret appears to be carried over from the T-90A, but has gained the addition of slat armour caging and anti-projectile metal chains. The T-90M is powered by a V92S F2 turbocharged engine, delivering 1130 HP, the same engine fitted to the T-72 B3M. So where are all the T-90 tanks? And why hasn't the T-90 series deployed in greater numbers? Well, put simply, there are very few left. The T-90 series, planned to be Russia's main battle tank, has never met any of its production targets. I suspect any T-90 series kept in storage or strategic reserve are gone, converted to the T-90M. Any further T-90S tank produced for the export market will instead be sent to fight in Ukraine. The T-90M new fire control system, dubbed Kalina, and a new sighting system which includes the Sosna U multi-channel gunner sight, is reliant on its French Catherine FC thermal imager, and is now in chronic short supply due to sanctions imposed on Russia. This has initially slowed down production of the T-90M. Even some modernised T-80 and T-72 have had their Sosna U removed and reverted back to older sites. These reclaimed Sosna U are instead used for T-90M builds. Russia is now playing catch-up to try and gain lost production time wasted over the last 20 years. The Russians have announced they will once again begin building T-80 tanks from scratch, and are or will be producing Russian-made optics to replace sanctioned optics from France. Russian tank losses in Ukraine are still catastrophic, even losing dozens of its much vaunted T-90M. But it's only a matter of time before Russia produces more tanks each month than it is losing monthly in Ukraine. Thanks for watching.